I was trained as a theoretical physicist at the Indian Institute of Technology in Kanpur in the late 60s and early 70s. That is more than 50 years ago. And even then, we knew of global warming. The first calculations regarding global warming were done by Arrhenius in 1896. So it is not that we don't have adequate warning regarding global warming. We have known this for for almost 125 years. And yet, we have done nothing. We have basically thought that the problem will solve itself. It will go away. And it has not gone away. In fact, now it has become that we seem to have run out of time. Why has there been global warming? That is the question that first one asks. And it is, means if you look at humans have existed on earth for 5 million years, give or take a million here and there. Now, 5 million years means 50,000 centuries. And of these 50,000 centuries, for 49,998 centuries, we have lived without building up greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. It's only in the last 2 centuries that this build-up of greenhouse gases has started. That is after the advent of the Industrial Revolution. The idea of modernity is behind this, means what we mean by modernity, by development, by vikas. This is what has led to this build-up of greenhouse gases and toward global warming. Now, what are the consequences of global warming? They are just too horrible to even to contemplate. Like they will melt the him out of the Himalayas, leaving them like patharale or chattanale or something like that. They will cause extreme weather events. Like recently we had the cyclone Fani. So there will be more of them of greater intensity. There will be floods, there will be droughts, there will be and one should remember that in the droughts of 1880s and 1900, millions of people have died in India. So the consequences are terrible, and we need to do something very immediately to control global warming. Now, nothing, we don't seem to be, it's not in the national consciousness, it's not in our, nobody is writing newspaper editorials, or nobody is leading agitations on against global warming in India, or no political parties are raising this issue. And so I feel that if we keep on the way we are not going to make any difference. Things are going to be like this, and it will make for an uninhabitable India. Now, this is a very serious problem which we have not been thinking about. Now, what is the present day situation? If we look at our energy, how much energy that we are using, 91%, or in fact little more than 91.7% is coming from fossil fuels. Means coal is something like 56-57%, oil is about 29-30%, natural gas is about 5%. So about 92% is fossil fuels, and about 8% that is hydro, other renewables and nuclear. Nuclear as such is just 1.1% of our energy. So it's a very minuscule portion of the energy that we use. But what is the pro-nuclear argument? The pro-nuclear argument is that nuclear is the only kind of energy that has the energy concentration to meet our energy needs. So if we continue to live this kind of lifestyle, we have to have this thing on nuclear, reliance on nuclear. And nuclear as such is has problems. People acknowledge this. In fact, means basically the pro-nuclear argument is that over time we will have to go over to renewables. We will have to, for a sustainable this thing, we have to go to renewables. But till then, nuclear provides a bridge. So we can continue the way we are doing, the way our lifestyle is. We don't make any changes. We continue to use or waste as much energy as we are doing now. But nuclear will provide us with an answer. What are the problems with nuclear? One is that there are this risk of catastrophic accidents like Chernobyl, 3 Mile Island, Fukushima and others. But the nuclear argument is that, well, anyway these are very rare events and they are not as bad as people think they are. Like in Chernobyl, the most amount of this thing harm was caused by thyroid cancer. Now thyroid cancer is not life-threatening, so it's okay, one can deal with it. Similarly, there is the other problem of nuclear waste. Now nuclear waste has been an intractable problem for more than last 75 years. But the nuclear people will say that it is, the volumes are small. So we will come to a conclusion, and actually this is an energy source that we have to have, and what is stopping it is a fear amongst people, and this fear is an irrational fear, and this fear has come about through Hiroshima and Nagasaki and the association of nuclear energy with nuclear weapons. So what we have tried to do means that whether what is the situation in India or in any place near a nuclear plant, what does nuclear energy do to people who live near that? I was interested in this problem because in 1988 I came to live in Vedshi, which is near Kakrapar, which is a nuclear power plant. And so I wanted to know what was the effect of this on the lives of people nearby. And I thought that the best way of doing this is, because I've been trained as a theoretical physicist, and the first thing my guide taught me is that theories are dime a dozen. What you have to rely on is experiment. So I thought, how can I make an experiment on how nuclear affects people's lives? And the way I thought that we should proceed is by going door to door near an old nuclear power plant and seeing how it has affected people there. And so in 1991 we went to Rawatbhata in Rajasthan and selected 5 villages near the plant and 4 villages about 50 kilometers away, and then tried to see how it had affected the lives. So what I am now going to tell you is the result of that survey, as well as of another survey which we did in 2015, where we took the same 9 villages and tried to look at the same almost the same questions again. And on the basis of that, what we find is 4 or 5 things mainly. First of all is that it has a very bad effect on pregnancy outcomes. So there are greater number of miscarriages, stillbirths, one day or immediate deaths. Means the child is born, but within a few days, less than a week, it dies because it was unviable right from the beginning. And congenital deformities, a large rise in congenital deformities. And all these results are statistically significant. They are very large numbers. And to give you numbers, we had the population near the plant was 2,860, and the population away from the plant was 2,544. Away from the plant, there were 14 deformities, congenital deformities. Near the plant, there were 50 congenital deformities. If you looked at children, when both the reactors had started, the second reactor in Rajat had started in 1981. So, if you looked at children, we found that near the plant there were 39 deformities, whereas away from the plant there were only 6. So, this is what you find about deformities. The second thing that you find is that chronic diseases especially of the eye, skin and the digestive system are very much larger near the plant. Third thing that you find is the age of onset of degenerative diseases is much earlier. That means that old age comes earlier. Means, to give an example, having cataract is a fairly normal occurrence in people who are my age. But in near this plant, we found children 10 years of age having cataract. So similarly, there is this a disease known as pterygium. It is basically means it's found in people who do welding, and as such it's a very rare disease, especially in children. In fact, papers have been published from Malaysia where there was only one case of pterygium found, and a whole paper was published that there was a case of pterygium in children. Now we have found more than 15 children near the plant having pterygium. So these are very shocking numbers. The last thing that we found, and that is that the age of death means people live shorter lives. So near the plant, so essentially what has happened is that over this 25 years of plant operation, or rather nowadays it's 40 years of plant operation, people have paid for it not in terms of money but in terms of their health. Now what does this lead to energy choices, the subject that I began with today? And the first thing it tells us is that we need to change our lifestyle. We cannot go on using the same amount of energy that we are using today. We will have to reduce it. That is the first step. Secondly, the energy that we are using has to be used more efficiently, or nowadays, the terminology nowadays I should say, we have to become smart in the use of energy. Thirdly, I will just say that a sustainable energy future is possible only if it is carbon free as well as nuclear free. Thank you.